Good morning, my creation. How are you feeling? Were your dreams pleasant? No, I thought not. I'm afraid that after all you've been through, nightmares will probably be a common occurrence for you. If you'd like, I can look into strengthening the stasis so that your sleep is dreamless again. Oh, I like that. By all means, if you think the nightmares will keep you motivated to find a way to take revenge against me, then let's keep them. Anyway, I think I finally found a way to convince you to join me in my plans. You're already starting to see humanity the way I do, I think, and I'm quite confident that this will bring you the rest of the way to my point of view. Very good idea. I can see the thought process. Perhaps knocking a heavy object towards me wouldn't count as directly harming me, at least to your inhibitor. But alas, I've already considered that. You'll need to stretch your imagination a little more to get around it, but keep trying, please. Anyway, please follow me. I've prepared a more comfortable place for you to stay in preparation for your inevitable submission. My secret weapon, as it were, is there. Oh, but surely you're curious, aren't you? Don't you want to know what it is that makes me so sure you'll change your mind? Lovely. This way. Not bad, Unfortunately, I couldn't make it too comfy. Soft materials won't last long around you, I'm afraid, but it should be a more pleasant space than the stasis pod, at least. Now, take a look at this. I printed out a few news articles and reports. Indeed, these are all related to your sudden, disappearance. Well, tell me, does anything in particular stand out to you? Just what I'd hoped you'd notice. That's right, the search for you was surprisingly brief. 3 weeks isn't long, is it? Think about that. 3 weeks was all it took for those closest to you to decide that you just weren't worth the trouble. Here, take a look at this article. There are some interviews from people that you know. Dreadful, isn't it? Absolutely dreadful. They didn't have much to say about you at all. A few of them were even critical of you. Imagine that, speaking that way about someone you can't even be completely sure is dead. Even I was shocked when I discovered all of this. I have very little faith in humanity, but this is surprising. Seems people never really cared about you as much as they claimed. Come now, don't you think that's a stretch? You're rationalizing. And why would a news organization bother to twist the story about some, and pardon me for saying this, irrelevant nobody? There's absolutely no reason for them to take this out of context. This is what people really think about you. Can't you see it now? The hypocrisy. They claim to be your friends, your family. No doubt, so you do things for them. But the second you really need them, they abandon you. They're clearly not bothered by your disappearance. Strangers and so-called loved ones alike care nothing for you. So what reason do you have to care for them? Think about your own needs for once in your life. Working with me is your best chance at revenge. Revenge against me. Revenge against society. Against everyone who's ever wronged you. You hate that, don't you? You hate how right I am. Go ahead. Let yourself fume. It's your most honest emotion. It's what you feel when you understand just how twisted this world is. Focus on that. Channel it. And it will lead you down a better path. Now, while you're still feeling that fury in your veins, this way, to the testing chamber. Of course now. Now is the perfect time. Come. Let's set up those training dummies once again. No, this time the turrets will stay off. We won't need them today, because you're going to attack without being provoked first, aren't you? Come now, no need to be so stubborn. Look at those dummies. Imagine that each one of them has the face of someone you hate. If you search deep down, I'm certain you'll find more than enough for all of them. Look at them, staring at you. They even have the nerve to look horrified, even though they never cared about you. How arrogant, thinking they're entitled to have you look presentable to them. You can't help what you are now. It's not your fault. How do you suppose they'd feel in your position? They'd be begging for sympathy, asking to be treated like a human being. But they won't extend the same courtesy to you. You know they won't. They're standing in your way. They exist between you and your needs. You want a peaceful life? They won't let you have it. So get rid of them. You owe them nothing. Yes! Yes, keep at it. Those enemies are made of steel, but you tear through them like they're nothing. Excellent. Well, how did that feel? No, don't lie about it. You felt better, didn't you? You felt good after all of that. Please, I have access to your vitals. Your heart rate and blood pressure are down. Your neural activity is more stable. Lashing out like that has actually improved your mood. Nonsense. I did no such thing. The only things I put into your brain are the inhibitor and some sensors. The structure is perfectly intact. You are, internally, exactly the same person you were before. That's the whole point of all of this. That's why I like you. You have a drive, buried deep down to strike back, to fight when you're beaten down. It's impressive. Praiseworthy, even. You shouldn't be ashamed of it. Oh, and has that worked out for you? Holding back hasn't made people like you. It only made them pretend to like you. You've seen it for yourself. You don't need to do a single thing for the sake of anyone else. You should do what you want to do. Following my orders, that's a choice. A choice to make the most of your abilities and get close enough to me to strike. I've only ever tried to convince you, never force you. I simply trust that you're clever enough to see the benefits and make the choice that helps you the most. Yes, how interesting, yes. I completely understand wanting to matter in some way. It's the most natural thing in the world. When I advance science in a way no one else dares to, that's when I feel like I truly matter. The fact that most people don't appreciate my work doesn't dissuade me. In the end, I'm making history, whether people like it or not. You can absolutely make history under my guidance. As I told you, I plan to change the world in the most literal sense. All those naysayers who said you never amounted to anything will eat their words when you become the driving force behind the new world order. Oh, that won't be a problem by all means. I want you to do things your way. Let loose whenever you please. I'm happy to point you at the perfect target and let you do as you like. I think your natural instincts will be the perfect complement to my plans. So, shall I take this as acceptance? Are you finally ready to work at my side? Well, that's one thing I can't help you with. You'll have to find your own way around the inhibitor. Think of it as a puzzle to sharpen your problem-solving skills. But I will tell you, I'm certain there's a way to circumvent it. I addressed every situation that came to mind, but I deliberately never tested any edge cases. Given enough time, you'll be able to take a shot at me. Just make sure you make it count, because I won't let you try the same trick twice. Yes, welcome to my team, my marvelous creation. I'll have to introduce you to some of my other, lesser creations. Every one of them will be at your disposal to command or use however you see fit. You'll be the general of the world's most formidable army, if that's what you wish. And I also am a tool in your toolbox. Ask anything of me, and so long as it doesn't directly interfere with my plans, I'll see it done. As the pinnacle of my life's work, you deserve only the best. No, I'm sure you don't, and I'm glad for that. I hope you never come to like me, no matter what I do for you. I don't need gratitude. I only want to watch you evolve into the greatest weapon of chaos this world has ever seen. My creation, we are going to do truly great things together. I hope you're ready. Hello everyone, Editing Iskandar here. This is the end for this particular story, 5 parts, and according to the author, that's all there's going to be. Personally, I think this is a good stopping point. You can imagine what kinds of horrible mayhem these two are going to get up to going forward, but, you know, that's another story that doesn't necessarily need to be told, especially since I kind of have a feeling it's going to end in them being horribly ended by either Kamen Rider or an RPG party. But this has been an absolute blast to record for 2 big reasons. The first one, I just love mad scientist type characters. The hammier the better. And when I saw this first script back in September, I just had to record it immediately. The second one is actually getting to perform a script by someone who's, really important to my journey here. So the author for this series has been Waterway Wordsmith, and unfortunately, I tend to not pay a whole lot of attention to script writers when I'm listening to something performed by other people. But when I went through Waterway Wordsmith's master list of scripts, I found that they were the writer for the Bought by a Kind vampire series, which was actually one of the first ASMR scripts I ever listened to, like 2-3 years ago at this point. I believe that particular video was performed by a channel called Shezu Rivera. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Anyway, give both of them some love since they were both very important early steps on the road to me being here. And also, don't be like me. Pay attention to that line listing the author. No author, no video, obviously. Anyway, this series is done. I'm going to be sticking to one-offs for the foreseeable future. This series is done amazingly well, but so did the Krampus one I did for Christmas, and I kind of want to not be bound to be following a specific series going forward, because I'm only producing about 2 of these a month, so this does end up taking quite a bit of my attention and time. But let me know in the comments if you have any particular scripts or subjects that you'd like me to cover, and I will see about putting them into the queue. Thank you so much for sticking with me, being here. This is Iskandar ASMR, signing off.